Всем добрый вечер.
Привет.
Добрый.
Пока ждем, пока все собираются. Как у вас прошла неделя? Вижу Олесю. Можно пока включить микрофон.
Терапевт сказала, я выписала вам лечение, теперь идите. Вот такое лечение. То есть, по сути, мне выписали только УЗИ на груди. Вот, потому что маммография в таком...
Так, я выключаю микрофон у тех, кто случайно подсоединяется, не видя, что включен звук. Так. Где же Настя? Насти нету.
У нас, кстати, уже трансляция на YouTube идет.
Да, ну правильно, у нас уже без 15. Давайте тогда начнем. Всем добрый вечер.
А мне записывать это?
Ну, как пойдет.
Я могу либо записывать, либо не записывать.
Ну, можешь записывать, всегда вырезать можно. Так, друзья, кто сегодня смог доехать и включить камеру? Таких единицы. Ну, ничего. Да, вот Виктор еще. Приветствую. Да, Саян. Да, добрый вечер. Да, у нас сегодня второе занятие, Елизавета. Второе занятие по модулю Сансара и Нирвана. На самом деле модуль этот отличается от предыдущего модуля, если вы были на модуле «Как медитировать» или «О пустоте». Но везде есть свои особенности, нюансы, и в этом модуле, конечно, большой плюс, что у нас есть возможность вместе с учителем уделить время медитации и также обсуждениям. Вот, но вместе с тем на вас большая ответственность, что хорошо бы теоретическую часть читать, и вот те материалы, которые мы присылаем в домашнем задании, читать, потому что они систематизируют знания и служат вот базой для дальнейшего нашего развития, потому что каждый модуль он добавляет чего-то в вашу картину, что такое буддизм, и так что это очень полезно. И прошлое занятие, я напомню, у нас было посвящено 4 благородным истинам или истинам святых, как Диана переводит. Мне более комфортно говорить 4 благородных истин, потому что уже сколько лет мы именно так говорим. Но чтобы вы знали, что это просто особенность терминологии. Соответственно, у нас была эта тема, и мы затронули, что такое сансара, что такое нирвана, и обсудили, как мы воспринимаем сансару, и считаем ли возможным выход из сансары в нирвану. Давайте я предлагаю сегодня, у нас осталось 10 минут, и вы видели, что в письме сегодняшнем, которое вы получили, была ссылка на тест. Это просто тест такой для проверки, что вы запомнили. Особенно это актуально для тех, кто только-только начинает знакомство с буддизмом. Очень важно уложить в голове какие-то такие основные моменты и потом их просто дополнять. Я предлагаю вам... кто проходил тест? Можете написать в чат. Антон, прекрасно. Спасибо, да, Дмитрий, Оксана. Так, давайте тогда мы долго тратим, у нас все равно мало времени, И мы попробуем сейчас, те, кто не проходил, так, я сейчас высылаю в чат ссылку. Вот. Да, Светлана, да, спасибо. Да, Саян. Давайте тогда мы быстро в таком ускоренном темпе попробуем пройти по вопросам, потому что на самом деле вопросы достаточно простые. Мы не успели углубиться пока слишком в тему, поэтому мы проходим такие азы. Первый вопрос у нас был расставить в правильном порядке 4 благородные истины, 4 истины святого. Кто готов высказаться? Может быть, кто-то хорошо помнит это. Есть 4 истины и варианты. Или кто-нибудь подключайтесь, кто проходил, и я думаю, у всех хорошие результаты. Саян, Светлана, Дмитрий, да, Дмитрий, да, так, Дмитрий без камеры, так, Антон, кто-нибудь? Вот Антон пишет: страдания, причины, пресечение. Да, все правильно, то есть истина о страданиях, истина о страданиях, истина о причинах страданий, истина о пресечении страданий и истина о пути пресечения страданий. Это вот 4 основы, их важно помнить, и в контексте этого мы получаем учение, можем получать учение по любому модулю, потому что эта тема очень универсальна. Второй вопрос у нас был, какие типы страданий в первой истине выделяются? Давайте, может быть, если вам удобно, то в чате кто-нибудь перечислите. Тут были варианты в тесте, даны варианты. Всепроникающее страдание, страдание перемен, ментальное страдание и страдание от страдания. Да, отлично. Страдание страданий. Да, страдание перемены, всепроникающее страдание, да. Ментальное страдание лишнее, да. Это было придумано. Так, и теперь давайте вопрос, к какому типу страдания относится головная боль? Можно писать в чате. Так. Антон первый. Дарья. Так, да, это страдание от страданий, да, это первая истина. Итак, это все физические страдания у нас относятся к первому типу, это страдания от страданий. А теперь чуть посложнее. Тут дана ситуация. Это текст, на самом деле, из буклета, который вы, наверное, читали, если вы выполняли домашнее задание. К какому типу страдания относится ситуация, когда бедный, неимущий человек мечтает о приобретении автомобиля или телевизора. Если у него появятся эти вещи, вначале он будет очень счастлив и доволен. Если бы это счастье было постоянным явлением, то после покупки машины и телевизора оно длилось бы вечно, но оно куда-то исчезает. Через несколько месяцев он уже хочет машину другой марки, и если бы у него были деньги, купил бы другой телевизор. А старые вещи, которые раньше приносили ему столько радости, теперь его не удовлетворяют. Какое? Да, это страдание. Так, страдание перемен. Да, страдание перемен, правильно. И у нас остается, наверное, мы можем методом исключения, что всепроникающее страдание – это самое сложное. Может быть, кто-то хотел бы сказать, как он понимает всепроникающее страдание? Кто-нибудь голосом?
Да, можно сказать, да.
Да, снова.
Мне нравится сравнение досточтимой Рабины, когда она говорит, что всепроникающее страдание – это тот факт, что мы живем в теле наркомана в мире полном наркоты.
Да, яркая метафора. Еще что-нибудь дополните? Но это как бы так метафорично показать для тех, кто как бы знает. Есть более классические методы описания всепроникающего типа страданий. Например, вот тоже из буклета, из брошюры по модулю, то, что было в тесте. Все наши страдания берут начало в привязанности, цеплянии нашего ума за истинное существование «я». Ум, охваченный такими омрачающими эмоциями, как гнев, зависть, тому подобное, основная причина рождения в круговороте бытия и всех остальных проблем. Вот. Соответственно, в течение модуля мы будем все больше и больше обсуждать этот момент, и он будет становиться все ближе и понятнее. И про определение сансары. На самом деле в лекции Энди, по-моему, не давал это определение. Кто как понимает сансару? Вот определение, кто мог бы дать? Друзья, так, ага, привязанность эго к жизни, к эго к жизни, круговорот перерождений. Двойственное восприятие. Да, очень интересно. Я сегодня смотрела, какие определения есть в классических книгах, и вот по Бонкерин, по Че, например, вот так у меня нет книги, он говорит, что с одной стороны это круговорот перерождений, но говорить так это очень узко, что всегда нужно идти дальше. И вот он подчеркивает, что ему больше всего нравится, наилучшее определение с его точки зрения является определение, данное седьмым Далай-ламой, Гилсангом Гетцо, где сансара есть череда рождений, связанных с загрязненными сканками, подверженными притоку омрачений. Да. Вот. И тут, конечно, сложность. Если вы только что столкнулись с буддизмом, то у вас сразу возникают вопросы, что такое сканки, что такое омрачение. И на самом деле это те вопросы, которые возникают, и благодаря которым мы будем изучать эту тему дальше. Многие, конечно, знают, потому что многие проходили и модули, и читали сами, и изучали. Но те, кто не знают, те, кто встречают какие-то незнакомые слова, не пугайтесь, все, мы узнаем, все. И вопросы, которые у вас есть, вы можете задавать. Так, Света.
Да, привет.
Да, добрый вечер. Итак, друзья, у нас осталась 1 минута, буквально. Энди, good evening, Энди. И напоминаю, что постарайтесь выключать микрофон, когда вы не задаете вопрос. Вопросы вы можете задавать в чат, и тогда наши переводчики переведут в то время, когда будет уместно задавать вопросы. Сегодня у нас будет также групповое обсуждение, так что постарайтесь, по-моему, также в 9:10, по-моему, да? Настя, поправь меня по программе. По-моему, в 9:10 будет обсуждение. Если у вас есть возможность, выделите это время, чтобы вы могли подключить видео и пообщаться с коллегами по нашему программе. Вот, по-моему, я все сказала. Если вы не получили письмо с домашним заданием, вы тоже можете написать об этом в чат. И вот, и мы исправим ситуацию. Теперь, наверное, пора начинать. Диана тут. Добрый вечер, Диана. Good evening, Andy. We are ready to start.
Okay. So, good evening, everybody, and thank you for being here. we're going to continue with the topic of Samsara and Nirvana. And this evening, we're going to focus on the 6 realms of Samsara, which I'll introduce through a meditation shortly. And then we'll discuss it using the picture of the Wheel of Life. Then later there'll be a discussion. So probably most of you came last week, so I don't need to do too much personal introduction. I think this topic is very important. There are many misunderstandings about this topic, and there are also some dangers in this topic that we just want to fly away from all the troubles of the world to some perfect place and leave everybody else behind. But this is Mahayana Buddhism, which means that everything we study and discuss and all our practice is for the purpose of benefiting others, all other beings. So flying away and leaving them with all their problems is not the purpose at all. In fact, this Mahayana path to full enlightenment is a path to the transcendence of the duality of samsara and nirvana, so that we are able to be with others, alongside them when they suffer, and help them without ourselves being caught up in our own problems. So that is really different from the idea that we just want to get away and live in perfect peace by ourselves, away from everybody. That is not the purpose. So our motivation for our class this evening is one of great compassion. So please bring your mind from your brain down to your heart space. This is the space at the same level as your heart, in your chest. You can make it quite large. Don't make it too small. And feel that you are in this space. And from within this space, you are connected with everybody else. You're aware of their problems and suffering. And you feel love and compassion towards them. And you wish you could help them to be free from their problems. And you choose to be here in this class in order to develop, to improve one's capacity to be of benefit to others. And actually, this will also bring great happiness to oneself. But the main purpose is to take care of others. So now with this motivation, maybe you can lead the refuge and bodhicitta prayer in Russian, like with last week. Can we do that? Yeah.
Санге чода токи чокнала, жангчу барду дакник япсучи, даги джинсо гите сонамки, дролаб хенчир санге друпа шок, санге чода токи чокнала, жангчу барду дакник япсучи, даги джинсо гите сонамки, дролаб хенчир санге друпа шок. В Будде, Дхарме и высшем собрании ищу прибежище вплоть до просветления. Делаю заслуг от практики даяния других парамид, достану я Буддой на благо всех существ. Эту умащенную благовониями и покрытую цветами землю, великую гору меру, 4 континента, солнце и луну, я представляю как поле Будды и подношу, да насладятся все существа-скитальцы жизнью в этой чистой земле. И гуру ратна мандалакам нирьятая.
Thank you. So now I'm going to lead a meditation. And in this meditation, you are going to be a witness of the 6 realms of cyclic existence. So bring your body into a good posture for meditation on your seat. And remember where you are. Yeah, on your seat, in this room, in this building, in this city or town or village, wherever you are. And probably there are other people in your building. And in neighboring buildings. And if you're in a large city, in all directions, there are many, many human beings. Different gender, different race, different nationality, different religion or no religion. Different ages, different sexual orientation, different social attitudes. And every one of these sentient beings has their own kind of suffering. According to their situation, according to their mind, in other words, according to how they relate to their situation, and according to the karmic causes of their mind and their situation. Some situations might look very good, but the person could be suffering very much. Other situations might look very bad, and the person might be very content. Now, keep your mind in your heart space and make your heart space grow larger and larger beyond your body. Until your heart space includes everyone in your building, in your part of the city or town, in the whole city, in the whole region of Russia, in the whole of Russia, in the whole world. So now your heart space is very, very big. And in your heart space, just feel the presence of all the 8 billion or so human beings of this planet. And feel sensitive to all their different sufferings. And also feel sensitive to their happiness and joys. For example, the children of this planet. Or the old people of this planet. For example, the sick people of this planet, many of them in hospitals or sick at home. And also all the healthy people of this planet. So this is the human realm. And all of us share the karma to be human in this life, which brings many benefits. Particular intelligence, which can be used in many positive ways. But also, being human has its own particular sufferings, which we all experience from time to time. So stay meditating within your heart space, feeling connected, feeling love and compassion, kindness. Feeling tenderness to our big human family of this planet. And now we extend this to the animals. Maybe there are some animals that we know personally, such as our pets. Or some animals that we've met, our neighbors' pets, for example. But start to extend this to many other animals that live in your neighborhood. Some of them will be killed if they're discovered, because they are called vermin, such as rats or certain insects. In your heart space, have room for all these different animals, including insects and birds. Each of them has its own experience of life. For example, when they get food, they feel good. But they also have their own kinds of sufferings. Each of them has the karma, the collective karma, if you like, they share to be in the animal realm. They may be intelligent, but they don't have the kind of intelligence that can study and practice Dharma like we have. They do have emotions. Most animals have emotions. So they do feel happiness and suffering. They do have attachment to their mates and to their children very often. And many of them show kindness, generosity to their children. So now in your heart space are all the humans of this planet, and you can extend the animals to all the animals of this planet in the different kinds of environments, according to climate and vegetation, many different species. And as we know, due to the changes in the climate and the ecology, many animals are suffering in a particular way. Can't get food, for example. Can't find shelter. Poisoned environments, for example, rivers and so forth. So hold in your heart space all of these beings with compassion. And now we're going to the spirits. In traditional terms, we call them pretas or hungry ghosts. Many of them live a very long time, and they suffer greatly from craving and never being satisfied. They're not usually visible to the eyes of humans. Sometimes they are, but not very often. But sometimes we humans feel their presence near us. Some of them are very intelligent, even clairvoyant, but in general, they suffer greatly from never being satisfied, especially hunger. And in general, they share the karma that in previous life they were miserly, stingy, not generous. And therefore they've been born in this state. But also they can be born in this state because they're very attached to a particular place. And so after they died, they stayed there as a spirit. But they can't enjoy the place in the same way. So hold in your heart space those in the spirit realm, the hungry ghost realm, with great compassion for their suffering. And now we're going to contemplate the hell realms. In these realms, the beings experience incredible pain, relentless pain. And also they experience being tortured. And this is a projection of their own mind. There are not actual beings torturing them, but they see those beings. It's a form of extreme paranoia. It's very frightening, very disturbing, and there is no break. It's continuous, intense pain and suffering. And they share the karma that previously they harmed others. And this is the result, to be born like this for a very long time, usually. Again, these beings are not usually visible to humans. It's more of a mind state, but they are connected with this planet, as are the hungry ghosts, even though we can't see them. It's said that they are beneath the surface of the earth, but sometimes they are on the surface also. So because of the serious, heavy suffering of the hell realms, in your heart space, hold them very dearly, very tenderly. Very gentle, kind compassion. Because we have known all these beings in previous lives. They are not completely separate from us. And now we will just look at the Deva realm and the Asura realm, which are kind of higher realms than even the human realm in some ways. The Devas, also called gods, a little bit like the ancient gods of Greece or India and so forth. They have long lives, incredible happiness, even blissful. But still, this is temporary. Even if it's a long time, it will come to an end. They will die from this situation. And because they became so used to their happiness, when they lose it, it's a huge catastrophe for them. So this is the Deva realm or the God realm. And then there's also the Asura realm, or sometimes called demigod realm. And these are like the gods, but they are dominated by jealousy because their happiness is not quite as good as the gods, and they are jealous of them. So in this way, they suffer. Even though they may have kind of superpowers and so forth, still they suffer. And this planet Earth has all 6 realms associated with it. And because you made your heart space big enough to hold all the beings of planet Earth, now hold all the beings of the 6 realms. Including those who are in between one realm and another. They died from one realm and now their karma is taking them to another realm. And in your heart space, acknowledge, I am connected with all these dear, unfortunate, suffering beings. Because even when they're happy, such as the God realms and the humans and animals some of the time, this is only temporary, this happiness. They lose it. So feel compassionate towards them, the way you feel compassion if somebody you love has a problem. You want to help them if you can. Just feel that in your heart space for all these beings. I wish to help you if I can. Just that feeling, simple feeling. Okay, thank you. So we just spent around 20 minutes on that meditation. And sometimes it's very good to do that kind of meditation. Personally, I do this every day as part of my daily practice. And usually I recite some mantras while I'm doing this meditation, sort of to send some positive energy towards all those different beings. I go through the realms one by one. I didn't give all the details in the meditation. There's many, many more details. You can learn those from texts. And even though we can't see most of the realms, we only see the human realm and the animal realm. I find it very helpful to meditate on even the realms which I can't see. Thinking about those different kinds of sufferings that they each have. And just generally feeling sort of love and compassion towards them, knowing that just like me, they want happiness. They don't want suffering. We're exactly the same as each one of those sentient beings. Exactly the same in wanting happiness and not wanting suffering. And of course, it's true right now, we can't do much for them. We can't rescue them. Maybe we would want to, maybe, but we can't. But I think that everybody who is suffering benefits if somebody witnesses their suffering. Just somebody kind knows that you are suffering it helps you. You don't feel quite so alone. I think we all have that experience. I'm not alone, even though I have some problems or suffering. This person or these people know about that, and they care about me. They love me. They wish they could help me. Just that is an encouragement. And so when I do this kind of meditation, I always think, well, if I was in those realms, like the hell realms, wouldn't it be good if somebody distant up in the human realm was just thinking about me? Just that feeling of connection. And once I spoke to my personal teacher, Geshe Wangchen, about this, and he said, actually, if you are really sincere, when you practice, you can benefit some of them because of your connection, because we all have karmic connection. So that's very interesting. And I like to practice thinking maybe I can benefit them, actually. This also helps us develop our good heart of love and compassion. So in that sense, it's good training for us. We will become a more compassionate person through this kind of practice. But maybe we can also benefit some of them directly. That's also a very powerful thought. I can't prove it. I'm just telling you it's a powerful thought. I benefit from that thought personally, feeling it's not just fantasy. I am connected. We are all connected, actually. Everyone in this group, we're all connected. And everybody that we know, we're all connected. And everybody we don't know also, actually. This is strange maybe, but it's true. We're all connected. This is part of the understanding of karma. And the idea that we had beginningless lifetimes. So in those lives, we made connection with different people, different beings. It presents a very different way of considering our place in the universe, actually. It means we develop another way of feeling about our existence. We're not isolated, that's one thing. But we're all connected like a big family, not just of humans, of all beings. That's something. In fact, Buddha said that all beings are the Buddha family. The Buddha family, because all beings have the potential to be Buddha. So therefore, all beings are in the family of those who can become Buddha. Because all beings have consciousness. And the pure nature of consciousness is called Buddha nature. And it's due to this that we can become Buddha. Each of us. But not just us. Also, all those animals and so forth, like the birds. In this life, maybe they can't progress. Except they can show kindness, actually, to their young, and this is positive karma. So it's not totally negative. There is a possibility of purification. Now then, I'd like us to look at the picture of the Wheel of Life. Max, if you could share the screen now, and I will talk a little bit about that. Yeah, and hopefully you all received this as well. If you didn't receive it yet, then you can request it from the center. And this is a very traditional Buddhist image of existence and life. It is said that it was designed by the Buddha as a gift to a king that he had a connection with, in order to present existence or life, and it's presented as a kind of wheel. If you look, you can see that circle is a wheel. And it's very striking that this wheel is in the mouth of a monster. This monster has a tiger skin down the bottom, and at the top, this monster has flaming eyebrows and skulls and fangs and so forth. And this monster is also holding the wheel with the right and left hands, and those hands have claws on the fingers. And then you can see also the legs of the monster with claws. So this monster is the Lord of Death. And the Lord of Death is really an embodiment of what we call impermanence. So the gross impermanence is the death which all sentient beings will experience at the end of their life. Each life has a certain karma of duration, how long that life will last, and when that karma is finished, that person will die. And so all the beings who are represented in this wheel of life, which I'll talk about in a minute, they are all in the jaws of the Lord of Death. And of course, we don't see that all the time. We often have a sense that we're going to live forever. We know if somebody tells us, no, you won't live forever, you're going to die. Of course, we say, yeah, I know that. But our feeling each day is that we are going to live the whole day and also be here tomorrow. So we make plans for tomorrow and next day and next week and so on, based on the assumption that we will not die. And so the beings in this wheel do not think about death, but any moment the Lord of Death can close his jaws and we will finish that life. So that's the meaning of the monster, the Lord of Death. And of course, as I say, it's a representation of impermanence, which is a fact. Not just gross impermanence, but subtle impermanence. As we know, we're getting older. You can just look at yourself compared to a photograph of when you were younger, and it's obvious, we're all getting older. We don't notice day to day, usually, but if we look at a photograph from 10 years ago, we can see. And it's not like we suddenly got older in 10 years. We got older every moment. And this is called subtle impermanence. And the Lord of Death also represents that. Everybody in the wheel of life is a sentient being, and a sentient being is in samsara. So mainly this picture is a picture of samsara. So we're studying samsara and nirvana. This is a presentation of samsara. I'll give some kind of general explanation now, and we'll also be looking at it next week. So I'm not going to explain everything today, but I want you to notice that there are 4 different circles. One in the middle, then the next one has got a white side and a black side. The next one has got 5 different portions, 5 sections or segments, we could say. Yeah, you can use your mouse if you want to point out where we are. And then the outside ring has got 12 different images, and that's the one that we'll discuss next week. So I just want to explain that the one in the middle has got 3 different creatures. There is a pig, which represents ignorance, which means misunderstanding of the nature of things, basically, ignorance of reality. And then the pig has in his mouth, or her mouth, is the tail of a rooster. And the rooster represents attachment or desire, unhealthy attachment, grasping, greed. And then in the rooster's mouth, there is the tail of the snake. And the snake represents anger. And these 3, ignorance, attachment or greed, and anger or hatred, are called the 3 poisons. And they are at the center of the wheel of life because they are what is driving samsara. And depending on those 3, the next wheel, which has got a light side and a dark side, is where karma is created, because karma is created depending on ignorance, attachment, and anger. And the light side is representing virtuous karma, or karma which leads to happier states. And so the beings on that side are going from below up to higher. So they're going from lower realms up to higher realms due to what we call virtuous karma, which means doing something not harming or beneficial. And then on the dark side, they're actually going downwards, and they have created negative karma or non-virtuous karma, which means they go from a happier state to a more suffering state. So that's the wheel of karma. And then the third wheel, which is divided here into 5 sections or segments, is the 6 realms. And you might say, well, why are there only 5 sections? And that's because the upper left-hand side includes both the gods and also the demigods, which is on the left. The demigods are on the left and they're fighting the gods because of their jealousy. So in that case, in this particular version of the picture, there are 2 realms there. And then on the right at the top is the human realm, which is our realm. And so if you look in detail, you will see different scenes from human life depicted there. Now, if we go to the left-hand side in the middle of this wheel, we come to the animal realm. And there you can see many animals, some of which we recognize. And I mean, this picture is from Tibet, so probably it includes many animals that were found in Tibet, but not only Tibet, probably. And so we can recognize that. And then on the right-hand side in the middle is actually the spirit realm, or the hungry ghost preta realm. And there you will see many beings which are some of them have big bellies and very small throats. And this represents the fact that they're very hungry, but they can't get food. And so this is the suffering that they experience of craving, huge appetites, but no satisfaction. So as I said in the meditation, this is terrible suffering. And then if we go to the lower part, this is the hell realms. And again, it's sort of divided into different sections. On the right-hand side, you have the cold hells. And on the left-hand side, you have the hot hells. And you will find in the traditional texts many descriptions of the different kinds of suffering there. And there are also some beings which are torturing. And in the middle, at the top of the hell realm, there's this figure called Yama, who is like kind of the Lord of Death, but it's like he's also the Lord of the hell realms. So kind of one of those terrifying beings who are a kind of projection of paranoia. So there's just one more thing to talk about. The outer rim, which is called the 12 links, we will talk about next week. And this is the process which drives us and keeps us on this wheel of life. So I'm not going to talk about that today. But what I would like to talk about today is the top right-hand corner and the top left-hand corner of this picture. In the top right-hand corner is the Buddha. And the Buddha is outside of the wheel of life. Okay, that's the important point. But the Buddha is pointing, and the Buddha is sort of pointing out what is on the left. And what is on the left is the Buddha's teaching. And sometimes it's represented just by a full moon. And I think probably that circle on the top there, maybe a full moon actually, but anyway. The full moon represents Nirvana, which is freedom from samsara, freedom from the suffering depicted in the wheel of life. And the Buddha is pointing to this, and also to the Dharma, which is this text, which is in Tibetan script. The Buddha is pointing this to the beings within the wheel of life and saying, if you follow the advice which is represented there, which is the cessation of suffering, represented by the full moon, the disk on the top, and the path to the cessation of suffering, which is represented by the teachings and the practices in the teachings. If you follow that, then like me, you can be free from the wheel of samsara. So this wheel of life, which can be quite depressing when you consider the power of the three poisons in the middle, the fact that we keep going up and down according to our karma, and the fact that even when we go to one of the very positive realms, like the God realm, it's only temporary. And after that, we have the karma to be reborn in one of the lower realms, like the hell realm or the hungry ghost realm or the animals and so forth. So we're not free from samsara until we achieve nirvana. All the beings within the wheel of life, which are in the jaws of the monster, the Lord of Death, all those beings are subject to karma. Some of the karma is virtuous and leads to the higher realms. Some of it is non-virtuous and leads to the lower realms. But whether it's virtuous or non-virtuous karma, it keeps you within samsara. And so it's not really a solution to the problem of suffering. That is a very, very important point to think about. Even the virtuous karma, which leads to the higher realms, such as the human realm or the God realm and so forth, it's not a solution, because you will die from those realms, and then you can be reborn in the lower realms where the suffering can be unbearable. So then the question is, what is the teaching on the inscription, and what is the Buddha pointing to? And then there's the full moon, which is cessation or nirvana. And last week we did look at the Four Noble Truths. And so if we talk about it in terms of the Four Noble Truths, we can say suffering and the causes of suffering are in the wheel, in the jaws of the Lord of Death. And cessation of suffering and the path to the cessation of suffering are outside on the top left-hand corner. And the Buddha has transcended the duality of samsara and nirvana. And the Buddha, although is depicted in the picture standing outside the wheel of life, the Buddha can manifest anywhere inside the wheel of life without personally experiencing suffering, and can manifest, for example, in the human realm as a teacher or as an artist or whatever, to benefit the beings and lead them out of suffering. So that is what the Buddha does. And that is what is represented by the Buddha's arm being stretched out with a finger pointing. It's representing the way that the Buddha shows us how to be free from samsara. That is the meaning of that symbolism. So that is my explanation for this week of most of the Wheel of Life picture. As I said, next week we will look at the outside ring, which we didn't discuss today. It's quite a big topic in itself, so we'll look at that separately. And now it's time for you to have a discussion with a partner, and you have a question. And the question is this: can we be born in the six realms according to our karma? Now, if you just want to say, well, Andy said we can, so therefore it's true, well, then you won't have a very interesting discussion, because you'll just say, oh, well, if Andy says it's true, it must be true. Or Buddha says it's true, so it must be true. Or the Dalai Lama or Lama Zopa Rinpoche says it's true, so it must be true. So that's not the point of the discussion. The point of the discussion is, what do I think? Do I believe all this? Or do I just think it's a nice story, but I don't actually believe it? So this is an opportunity for you to be honest with your partner about what you really think. Because this isn't a normal way of thinking in our world, is it? This isn't the way that we were taught when we went to school. They didn't teach us this. So can we accept this or what? Okay, so please, you send people to discussion place for 10 minutes, and then you'll come back and have more discussion in the group. Thank you. Have a good discussion.
Так, меня выбросило, по всей видимости, из моей группы. I lost connection with the internet, so now I am alone here. I was in group 12, but I think that if somebody can connect me to group 12.
I'm not sure if somebody here can do that.
Okay.
It looks like Max went and he's the one who did the groups. But you can have a discussion with Daria if she likes. I will leave you to have a discussion.
Микрофон.
You two discuss.
Микрофон. Микрофон. Не слышу. Включите микрофон. Микрофон. Ага. Так, подождите.
Okay, so you can have a discussion with me if Daria doesn't want to discuss.
I want.
You do want to?
I had problems with the.
With the sound. Okay.
You hear me?
Yes.
Thanks God, because I was unable to switch on the microphone.
Oh.
Because it was switched off by the one who is organizing this conference. So I was trying dozens of times to switch it on, and I didn't succeed. And now, finally, I succeeded.
Okay. So since there's just two of us here, tell me what you think about these topics. Do you think that we can be born in the 6 realms according to our karma, or do you think it's just a story?
I'm afraid, to be honest, to be born in some lower realm. But I suppose, let me think what I think. To be honest, I'd prefer not to think if personally me can be born in the lower realm. I was like, you see, when I saw all this wheel, and so I thought that, it's okay, we have a way out of that wheel from one side. And from another side, to be honest, I felt like bored. Oh my God, it's so funny in there, in that wheel. So that's my personal, and I felt like, what shall I do when I go out of that wheel? But not taking into account that I might be born in some lower realms. I do believe in the concept because I see some outcomes of my personal karma. I see if I just hurt someone or if I just was angry at someone. I see, for instance, if I'm not watching my inner state, if I'm not looking after my inner state, for instance, if I'm not doing these practices, purification practices, and if I'm not looking after my ethics or what is inside me, the world around is turning to be like the mirror. The world is mirroring what is inside me, and I think that's kind of outcome of the karma. Because if I feel full of love, such as now, for instance, and calm and warm inside, I feel that world is also like this. And the same is with karma. I can't imagine myself, hopefully I won't do this, doing some awful things to earn such bad karma to go to the lower realms. But on this lower scale, I see how it works. That's my conclusion.
No, that's good. I mean, that's a good starting point, and it's based on your experience. So it's not just kind of theory. What you're talking about is what you feel from your experience in life. And I think that's an important place to start, actually. Very important. And yeah, I think feeling it is the most important thing, actually. Then it starts to mean something to you. It's not just a story. And then how much you can actually accept from the traditional teachings is just a personal matter, actually. And usually the more you study, the more you practice, then you start, in my experience, you start to accept more. Because you're just your horizon grows. You can see further. But there's no. You have to be honest with yourself. What do I really believe at this time?
Well, I remember in this very point, I also like see the way, because I remember myself a year ago and a year and a half ago. Yeah. And it was your teachings also that I firstly got to when I returned to Russia from India. I remember this moment, and I remember myself there. And so now it's like I understand a way more. Yeah. For instance, you gave me the advice, this meditation, to look on everyone's like it's mother, it's your mother in some previous lives. So I since then I get it like a habit. So now I understand. I never thought I might feel like this. Now the whole concept, it's like puzzle. So this puzzle is like set into pieces, and I understand this. Sure. But basing on my previous experience, I understand that the puzzle will be enlarging.
That's right. Yeah. I think that's a very healthy way to proceed in Dharma. And you don't need to pretend to believe something you don't believe. But at the same time, keep an open mind. That's my general advice. Yeah.
May I ask you also?
We're coming back soon. Yeah. So thank you, Tasha. Okay. Thank you for talking. That's nice. Yeah.
И поэтому,
Right. Okay. So welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a good discussion. Probably some of you wanted longer, but we can continue now. But I want to move the discussion towards a question which I want to put to the group. And the question is there something beyond the six realms? Is there something beyond the six realms? If you remember the picture of the Wheel of Life, beyond the six realms is the Buddha pointing to the cessation and the path. And so in the same spirit as your discussion, I want to know what you really think. I don't want you to just give me the answer from the tradition. I know the answer from the tradition, so you don't need to give me that. What I want to know is what you think. What do you really feel? Not just think. What do you feel is the truth? is there when I say, is there something beyond the 6 realms? Another way to say that, is it possible to completely finish all suffering and its causes? Or is that just a story? Okay, and now it's your turn to say something. And I think we got a chance that you can either put something in the chat, or you can say something by showing your hand. Or who's organizing this now? Somebody from the center?
Давайте мгновение про организацию. Пожалуйста, если вы хотите что-то прокомментировать, давайте вы поднимайте руку, и мы дадим вам возможность проговорить это. Энди и Диана синхронно переведет это. Так будет быстрее, удобнее, и больше людей сможет высказать свое мнение. So just organizational moment. So it will be with a synchron translation.
Я вот хотела высказать свою точку зрения, что мне всегда представлялось, что вот этот вот окружающий мир, это вот у меня есть такое ощущение с самого детства, он такой похож на большую гигантскую комнату с толстыми бетонными стенами. И всегда было такое ощущение, что возможно просто вот сломать эту стенку и выйти оттуда. То есть, и вот все, что происходит внутри этой комнаты, оно похоже... Вот у меня действительно было такое ощущение всегда с детства, похоже на какой-то такой немножко странный сон. И вот с моей точки зрения, как раз вот выход за пределы вот этого сансары, это вот выход через вот эту стенку, в открытое пространство, как космос. И мне кажется, что это естественное, присущее человеку состояние. Мы всегда хотим вот выйти и стать таким космосом. Вот без этой узкого ограниченного пространства, где все вот так вот крутится. Ну, то есть это даже не на основе книг, но это вот такое глубокое внутреннее ощущение.
Sure. Thank you, Dinara. Yes, samsara is like a prison. And Nirvana is like freedom from the prison. And then enlightenment is like being able to be outside the prison or inside the prison without any preference, just whatever is beneficial. Thank you. Very nice. Somebody else?
Я хотела бы, наверное, сказать, тут недавно перечитывала книгу Пелевина «Желтая стрела», и там вот эта метафора про поезд жизни, который несется к разрушенному мосту, и все пассажиры даже не осознают, что они пассажиры, они даже не слышат этот стук колес, но есть единицы, которые думают о том, что это поезд, и с него можно сойти, и прикладывают усилия, практикуют, чтобы рано или поздно выйти из этого поезда.
Yeah. Wow. So it's the same, really. It's just a different image, but it's the same idea. Yeah. And is that how it seems to you, Katya? Do you think that's true?
Это очень отзывается на самом деле, как вот это движение вперед, потому что мы все идем к этому моменту, к нашей смерти, но мы даже иногда забываем об этом, что мы туда идем.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Спасибо.
And now, Alexei.
I can adduce an analogy. For example, if I do something bad, I can afterwards say that, yes, it was bad. If I had known it beforehand, I would have done otherwise. And if we continue this line to its limit, the limit of knowing how to behave right, it's the enlightenment. It's the state of Buddhahood when you know what to do and you do in.
Right. Yeah, this is very nice. Thank you. So basically, you're saying that it's all a question of wisdom, actually, and awareness. And even for somebody like us who's not very advanced, we can have some awareness that if we do something good, then it will have a good result, or if we do something bad, it will have a bad result. But gradually, as we progress in our spiritual journey, then our awareness will get bigger and we will understand more and more. I think that's what you're saying, isn't it? And I agree with you. It's very, very nice. Thank you very much, Alexei. Thank you. Yeah. Somebody else? Yeah. Please. Speak.
Я думаю, что мы же моментами все равно, так или иначе, пусть очень короткими моментами, но ощущаем вот это просветление. И если бы этого не происходило, мы бы не могли с точностью поверить в то, что это возможно. То есть мы чувствуем это моментами. И заключается смысл в том, чтобы этих моментов стало больше и больше. То есть чтобы осознанность проявлялась в непрерывном потоке, а не какими-то маленькими крупицами, не всегда даже уловимыми.
That's very beautiful. And of course, not everybody will necessarily have those moments, but I'm so pleased to hear that you have them. And probably some other people do also. And these moments really encourage us to keep practicing, because as you said, if we keep practicing, they will come more often and they will gradually get longer. And that is really what the path is. Thank you very much. Now I think it's Svetlana.
Добрый вечер. Я много лет я все время думала действительно, что сансара — это в одном месте, а нирвана в другом месте. И до него нужно добраться. Каким путем, непонятно. Но как-то идти туда нужно. А вот какое-то время назад вдруг стало понятно, ну, не самой вдруг, а именно благодаря слушанию, размышлению о том, что действительно это все в одном и том же месте. И что именно работа с нашим умом, не там показываю, но неважно, освобождение ума от наших омрачений и, собственно, и выведет нас за пределы сансары. То есть у меня так сложилось в голове, то есть мое ощущение именно такое. Поэтому можно, идти никуда не нужно. То есть мы и тут. Вот я так думаю.
This is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And what you're sharing is that you know this. You're not just telling me because that's something that somebody told you. You're actually saying this is now something you really understand.
Yeah.
And that is a very, very precious understanding, because it encourages us to be here, really present, and transform our perspective. And actually, that is also very useful for benefiting others, because to benefit others, we need to be here, actually. And so if we can practice the path while we're here, much better than having to go to a mountaintop or something, or into the sky, or like that. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, next one, yeah. Please.
Здравствуйте. Инди, здравствуйте. Я тоже как-то, разговаривая с другими буддистами, поняла одну вещь. Как бы приводился пример на примере ваджры. То есть меня спросили, вот посмотри, пожалуйста, на один конец ваджры и подумай, что вот это сансара, а другой конец ваджры – это нирвана. А потом этот человек стал крутить ваджру и, в общем-то, остановив его, спросил, а где сансара, а где нирвана? И тогда у меня такое некое озарение произошло, что на самом деле все зависит от точки зрения. И, наверное, на данном этапе своего развития у меня недостаточно развиты органы, недостаточно есть определенного ресурса, чтобы вот это видение распознать и различить. И получается, да, что нет никакого места, никуда ходить не надо, а нужно, так скажем, натренировать в себе и открыть, и развить такое состояние ума, которое поможет мне различить, распознать, что есть сансара и что есть нирвана. И, наверное, это будет выходом. Это будет как раз выходом на какой-то новый этап своего развития, существования. И, возможно, это будет огромным толчком к освобождению. Ну вот, все, наверное.
That's right. And if you have a genuine path, a genuine method, then if you practice with great effort, then definitely you can reach that stage. It takes time. You can't get it quickly, and this isn't an intellectual point. It's like the spinning Vajra. It's a nice little device that your friend showed you, because it's not really an intellectual point. The Vajra is indeed a symbol of transcending samsara and nirvana. And this spinning is like a game, but it actually illustrates it very nicely. Thank you. Yeah. Just keep practicing. Yeah. You will reach that goal. Yeah. Keep going. And next one. Maria.
Добрый вечер. Я хотела сказать, что согласна с предыдущими ораторами о том, что я тоже чувствую, что сансара и нирвана не всегда рядом. И я хочу сказать, что я не чувствую себя, что меня удерживают. Я чувствую, что это мой выбор. И особенно в эти тяжелые времена я чувствую, что я нахожусь прям вот максимально на своем месте, в своей семье, где куча проблем. И я рада быть здесь со своими близкими. Я рада быть им полезной, потому что внутри себя я чувствую огромное количество энергии и силы понять, что происходит. Как бы мой мозг мне дал просто, благодарю его, такую физическую возможность понимать все так, чтобы меня не отнимало это сил, а мне дает эту энергию для того, чтобы постоянно быть в гуще событий. Я много работаю с людьми, очень много провожу времени в общении, и я вижу, как люди страдают. И я перестала давно бояться страданий, и когда я узнала о буддизме, в моей голове раньше было желание, а потом появился инструмент. Я стала понимать, как я могу помочь, и теперь я еще больше не хочу никуда уходить, потому что раньше у меня просто были силы, а сейчас еще у меня есть возможность. И я счастлива, потому что я знаю, что я могу, и вот это чувство, оно мне дает такой драйв к жизни. И поэтому я всей душой ощущаю всегда, каждый день, что вот сансара и нирвана – это всегда вот здесь, только здесь. И это прям вот то, что мы сейчас все обсуждаем. У меня еще больше инсайтов происходит внутри. И я счастлива, и я желаю всем счастья. И чтобы все избавились от страданий. Я прям искренне от души. Я рада, что попала на этот курс. Я только сейчас сожалею, что только в этот модуль я влилась. Я только узнала просто, что он существует. Я хочу теперь пройти все модули и на всех модулях узнать все нюансы, чтобы еще больше в голове найти ответов и найти инструментов еще больше. Благодарю.
Wow. you made me happy, and hopefully you made other people in this group happy, because everything you said is very inspiring. That it's possible for somebody, as you suggest, maybe you only studied a little bit, but it's possible for somebody, even studying a little bit, to feel the way you explained. And this is so precious in our world, where most people can't feel like that. Not yet. They can in future, but right now they're not ready. But you are ready. And so I just express my appreciation and my wish that you will go from strength to strength, and you will be of great benefit to others around you, in your family, your community, in your world. And this is exactly what we need nowadays. So thank you very much, and good luck. And you're right in my heart, I promise you. Thank you. Okay, so we're actually coming towards the end of our time. Is there we could have one more maybe if there's somebody who's waiting, but I don't see anybody waiting.
I just need to read one comment from the
Please,
chat,
go
and
ahead.
I actually so agree with it. So I would just say the same thing.
Go ahead, Katya.
So
Yeah.
it's from Katya. It's a comment from Katya Sky. So it's very difficult to believe yet, because it's so far away and it seems nearly impossible. But when you look at the teachers, you actually get some hope. And this is what I feel, you know, when I see teachers and when I'm near them, I feel that actually I can go beyond where I am now.
Yeah, thank you. So this is also one thing that we do have in our world today. There are some very special beings who actually are with us in our world, and they can inspire us and make us feel the possibility that we can become like them. So yeah, that is a very important thing to say. Thank you very much, the person who wrote that. So we finished the session today, and we're going to dedicate the merit from this session. So just to remind you, merit, we don't need to do prayers, Max. It's okay. I'm going to lead just going to lead a dedication. So the merit is the positive energy we created. And if you put your palms together, just next to your heart is a good place, then you can feel all the merit from this session gathering towards your heart center. Remember the heart space in the first meditation. So in our heart space, we need a lot of good energy, because to feel great compassion for all the beings like we did in the first meditation, it's very hard actually at our level, but the merit we create can go towards that and give us some positive energy. So the right hand is what we did this evening. We were listening, we were meditating, we were discussing, we were sharing. And the left hand is what we learned this evening, what we understood, any wisdom that we developed. And when we put these two hands together, it's called the joining of method and wisdom. We can say the joining of practice and understanding. And if we touch our heart center with these two hands, like we're doing now, then we can feel the energy. Just stop speaking, just feel the energy coming into your heart center. This positive energy we call merit. And this merit is dedicated for all beings, our big family of sentient beings, to become free from suffering and to achieve lasting happiness, not just temporary. And in particular, that we ourselves will become enlightened so that we can benefit all sentient beings, as long as it takes. Thank you. Hope to see you next week. Oh yes, thank you. Anastasia reminded me something about Osel. So Osel Hita is a young guy. I think he might be 36 now. And he lives in Spain. He's actually the director of a retreat center in Spain. And when he was a very small child, he was recognized by Lama Zopa Rinpoche and also by His Holiness Dalai Lama as the reincarnation of Lama Tupten Yeshi, who was one of my teachers actually, a great Lama who passed away in 84, I think, 84, yeah. So Osel is now getting more widely known, and he's giving teachings. He has a nice website. I think probably not in Russian, but it's called One Big Love. And he's giving one talk. Is it on Saturday, I think? Anyway, soon there's a talk that he's giving, and you can register and attend. Is it being translated into Russian? Yeah. Oh, right. So, therefore, very good. Yeah, you can really benefit. And he's a really amazing teacher, in my opinion. You know, Lama Yeshe used to teach in the ordinary language of young people of that time, like me. I was one of them. And so we used to hear Lama and we used to feel, oh, he's talking the way I understand. He's not talking some strange Buddhist language. He's just talking directly. And Osel is just the same. And so the way Osel communicates is very contemporary. It's very much the language of today, and he uses examples of today, and he's quite inspiring. And I know him personally, and yeah, I recommend you, if you can, to join that. So, thank you, Anastasia, for reminding me. Thank you. Okay, all the best, and I hope to see you next week. Okay. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you very much, Andy.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Дорогие друзья, у нас подошло к концу наше второе занятие. Впереди у нас еще 3 занятия. Присоединяйтесь к нам в субботу на встречу с Ламой Осилом. Это будет